MLBWeeklyRecap.com.
And we are live. Welcome to this week's episode of the Bullpen Cart Podcast, presented by ThunderblogSports.com. I, of course, am the G-Man, Jordy Cannell, and joining me, as per usual, all the way up from Boston, Massachusetts, is my man, Greg Piatelli. How are you, my friend?
Burning the midnight oil for the fans, Jordy. We do it for the listeners. So if you do listen, shoot Jordy a text or a tweet or a direct message, as the kids say, and let us know that you appreciate us staying up in the wee hours of night to record just for you.
Yeah, a little bit later than we normally do. It's only 10. The Phillies are still playing.
Whoa, Jordy, don't give away our secrets. Edit that. Cut that out. Don't give away our secrets. How early it is.
Depending.
That.
You and I are both night owls, I guess. Are you saying 10's early?
Cut that, Jordy. I'm saying cut it. Don't tell them. The whole point was that we were trying to get. They have no idea.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. They can know. But anyway, Greg.
Can't believe you just did that.
Got to be honest. That's how you establish trust. That's why they keep coming back. They trust our takes. We can't be saying we're recording this shit at like 3 a.m.
I didn't say that. I just did the late hours.
Wee hours of the night makes it sound like we like close down a bar to watch all the late games. We're not trying to do that. We're not that fancy. There's no hockey until Monday. No basketball tonight. We're not. The baseball. Some of the late games got postponed tonight.
Okay, fine. I just googled it. Wee hours is between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m.
All right. Yeah. So
we're in the wee hours.
Wee hours in London. Greenwich Mean Time. That's what everybody uses for to base everything off of.
Probably not. Jordy, how are you doing, bud?
I'm good. A pretty good week for the Phillies. Not a great showing on Tuesday night, last night for me. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And right now they're down. Let up a grand slam, but looks like have gotten and have started trying to chip away. But it was 3-0, then 3-3. The Cubs scored 3 runs off an Anthony Rizzo homer, and then a grand slam from Albert Amora Jr. So it's now 7-3 Cubs. I thought I saw 7-5, which is why I paused. But at the end of the 5th inning was the alert I got. But we'll talk about that a little bit more. Other than that, pretty good. About to finish school, so I'm very excited about that, and hopefully get a JOB.
That's awesome. I was going to say I asked you how you were doing, and you turned around and said, "Oh, the Phillies." You gave us a Phillies update for a game.
It's a
by the time people listen
podcast,
to it, by the time people listen to it, they'll have turned around. But more interested in the fact that you're hopefully, knock on wood, going to get a job, and congrats on passing your last final, hopefully, and graduating with a degree, a second degree, a third degree. How many degrees do you have now?
Well, it's technically not a degree. It's like I think it's a certification. So not no extra BS. Behind my name or anything like that. I only have the 1 degree in statistics from Lehigh. Was supposed to get a minor in communications, but the communications minor at Lehigh was a little more complicated than I thought to navigate, so I just dropped that. And now the certification, plus licenses from my financial times, but that doesn't really matter anymore.
And that's Jordy's life story.
In a very, very short bubble. As people know that are listening to this, you and I can talk forever. So if you really want to hear the long form, we should go long form.
We should do a non-sports podcast one time. Just have a get to know the characters, and you can do a weekly thing of all the people, of all the guests you have on, and get their life stories. We should do
a literal oral history of our time at Berkshire. Just hear about how fucking crazy we were. Well, me more so than you. You were the cool kid, and I was just your weird friend.
I definitely was not the cool kid, and we could do a deep dive into Jake was the cool kid. We could definitely do a deep dive.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Jake was the cool kid because he was really good at hockey.
Well.
And he was cool. Jake's the best. We need to get him on.
Don't define him by just being a hockey player.
That's a good point. Now he's an expert golfer, an expert believe he works in finance. I know he got the Series 7. I
Sounds
don't
important.
totally know what Jared or what Jake does. A lot of friends that have J and G names in my life.
Humble brag. You have a lot of friends. Good for you. What's that like?
Well, of my friends, of percentages, we'll say. It's a lot of Matts.
All right, Jordy.
J
Let's
and
get
G.
to it. Give me your hot
Yeah,
team of the week.
we're really. I mean,
Give me your
we've
hot team
really
of the
gone
week.
into
There's a
life
ton of
story.
hot teams in the American League to talk about.
Yeah, let's jump right into that, Greg. I'm excited to hear who you have, and I hope we don't pick the same team because you're right. There are a lot of hot teams that we could go with. I'm going to let you go first.
No, please, by all means, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers.
Ooh,
yeah, go a little bit out of left field. I feel like they should deserve a nod here because they've been hitting the ball really well.
Mm-hmm.
Their pitching was pretty good this week, and obviously their offense has been great to start the year. They're second in the league in runs, and pitching overall in the season not the greatest, but in the last week they've been better. And you got to give them credit where it's due. They've won 4 in a row, 7 of their last 10, and they're doing it against teams that they probably should be doing it against. They just swept the Seattle Mariners officially as of today, Wednesday, and over the weekend though. The St. Louis Cardinals came into town. They took 2 of 3 from them, a Cardinals team that we talk about a lot that should be, up there in the NL Central division that might be one of the better ones when the dust is settled by the end of the season. And last week they took 2 of 3 from the Royals on the road, including a 16-1 win. But like I mentioned, they're getting a lot of offense. Their pitching has been great. Their worst runs against game was a 10-9 victory against the Mariners. But every other game aside from that, it's 1 run here. It's 1 run, 3 runs, 2 runs, 4 runs, 3 runs, 1 run. That 2 runs was how many they scored, an 8-2 loss. But point of the story, Greg, these guys are starting to see the ball well. And who knows? I mean, I don't think long term you're going to be staying with the Houston Astros, but it's a good story, at least for right now. And, the middle quarter of the season.
So, I mean,
to start hearing
the craziest stat that I think comes to mind is the fact that the Rangers, Texas Rangers, along with the Minnesota Twins, are the 2 highest scoring teams in the entirety of Major League Baseball.
Yep.
The Minnesota Twins and the Texas Rangers. Let that sink in. The 2 are the top 2 highest scoring teams in all of Major League Baseball, and the Seattle Mariners in there as well. But I mean,
oh yeah, you're right.
If you were to tell me that before the season started, that the Texas Rangers and Minnesota Twins were the 2 of the highest scoring teams, I'm pretty sure in all our previews we talked about the Twins not scoring a lot, but their pitching being great. Their pitching is proven. Well, their pitching's proven it's been good, right? They've still given up little runs, not as good as Houston or even Tampa Bay, but they're up there for one of the better starting staffs for Minnesota. But Texas, great call with Texas, Jordy. The Rangers, they do certainly, have been playing well and have a lot of home games, which is attributing to them to a great home record, 17-8 at home. So good for them, and 4 games this week. Awesome. My hot team, if you're done with the Rangers.
The only thing I was just going to say is their batting average. I feel like this is a team that you hear a lot about their big home run hitters, guys like Joey Gallo, who also, he's living up to what you sign up for with him of 15 homers, but 64 strikeouts. But guys like Hunter Pence, who they took a flyer on, he has 9 homers, 30 ribbies. But they're all hitting well. Joey Gallo is batting .293, which is got to be well above his career average. And there's a bunch of guys that are above 300, so good for them. But right into your hot team, Greg. Who do you got?
I'm staying in the West, and I'm going to go with the Oakland Athletics, who...
There you go.
7 games in a row, or we did the last Wednesday, so 7 days on the calendar. They have won 6 straight games.
Yep.
7-3. Keeping pace with that division because Houston and Texas really, Houston obviously being the cream of the crop for them, but Texas and the Oakland Athletics really need to stay somewhat close or even somewhat close to the wild card line, and they needed to have this 6-game win streak, and the Rangers have the 4-game win streak to stay relevant in the wild card talks, because it looks like the Seattle Mariners are slowly but surely playing themselves straight out of any type of playoff contention. But that's for a different conversation for later on. But Oakland Athletics for me has to be it, and they did it by sweeping the Indians, sweeping the Tigers,
all on the road too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's that's 6 games in 7 days. So
it could have been, and it could have been 7 too. That Sunday game got canceled,
right? So that's
like rescheduled. Yeah,
exactly. So that's 6 for 6 during this week, and you really can't go wrong. So the hot team of the week has to be the team that went for 6 for 6.
Yeah, it's similar to the Rangers. You're starting to see a lot more of that offense coming to life that you thought you'd see. Matt Chapman and Chris Davis, both with double digits in home runs this early in the season. But guys like Stephen Piscotty, Marcus Seaman, that they're really starting to get it going. And yeah, they're figuring out how to score, and guys like Jurickson Profar, the guy they picked up from Texas, ironically, he's starting to hit it a little better. He's now at 7 homers. He's had a couple home runs in his last few games, 26 ribbies, which is, if I'm counting correctly, 4th on the team. And finally above the Mendoza line, he's batting 206. So he's really, starting to put it together. This is a guy, plays shortstop, very good fielder. It's part of why the A's picked him up. But he's usually a better hitter than that. So if his average starts to climb up from 206, he could be a guy that continues to help out with them, because you mentioned it. It's hard to keep pace with the Astros, who are now 33-16. They're winners of 9 of their last 10. So at this point, you're just basically battling for second in the division and hoping that whoever doesn't win the AL East and the second and third place teams are at least somewhere around there, which right now they're battling right with the Red Sox for that second wild card spot. If you're going to look, if the playoffs started today and all that stuff.
No,
but
I agree.
Same with Cleveland, but it really depends on how the AL Central goes. But right now, I mean, winning where you can, and especially on the road, which is something you kind of touched on with Texas. If Oakland really establishes themselves really well as a better road team, then that's crucial in locking up the ever important second place spot in your division.
Yeah, I love it. I like to hear it. Jordy, do you got a hot team in the National League, or do you want me to start?
I'll let you start. I'll jump over to the NL right now.
Okay, awesome. So everything in me wants to say the Atlanta Braves, because I know you won't say them as a homer pick.
Oh, I was gonna say the Atlanta Braves.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll leave them for you. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna go with the Miami Marlins, who
alrighty.
Yeah, last place team, the hot team of the week for me, simply because they won 4 straight, including sweeping the Mets.
5 straight now.
5 straight, sorry.
Yeah, they won today.
Yeah, even better, including sweeping the Mets. So 5 out of their last 7, pretty good. And based on the whole calendar thing, 5 out of 6 in the last 7 days. So
yes,
Miami Marlins, 14 wins in the year, or 15 wins in the year, but 5 of those came in this last week. So good on them. And not saying that this is going to turn anything around, but for me, it has to be the hot team of the week.
No. That's a great pick. That's something that we like to do. We like to give credit where it's due with some of those teams that are towards the bottom of the barrel. And they took care of business with Detroit, or in Detroit right now. They've won the first 2 games in that series. They wrap it up tomorrow.
Do we think Curtis Granderson deserves better than to end his career in Miami?
Yeah, I mean, he's batting 183 with 5 homers, which is actually second on the team behind the catcher the Phillies traded to acquire JT Realmuto, Jorge Alfaro, who's hit 6 bombs for 13 ribbies. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, who knows if if he deserves better, because the last couple of years he's really taken a nosedive. So I don't know if you want to send him off as kind of the last guy off the bench on the 40-man roster for September. I don't know if a playoff team would really want to take a flyer on him, especially when there's probably a lot of other outfielders out there that can provide the type of pop that his bat has, and especially that hasn't lost a step like Granderson has. So anyways, I don't know. It's there's the heart versus brain argument there. So the brain side of me wouldn't take it.
Quick side tangent, and I mean quick. Is there a franchise that has been ever crippled more by a death than the Marlins?
Oh yeah, we've talked about this before, and I don't think there has been.
I mean, that's going to be forever. I feel like that's going to be. I mean, even look at Yelich.
They were in a spot that they could have been.
I mean, you look at the guys and
Yelich, Ozuna, Realmuto. I mean, all those
Didi
guys.
Gordon. Yeah, I mean, their pitching staff.
What's his face? Giancarlo Stanton, formerly Mike.
Mike Stanton. But that's what I mean. Is that like anyway? Yeah. All right. Moving on, Jordy. Who's your National League hot team of the week?
Yeah, so we blew it before, but mine's the Braves. They are red hot right now. Like I thought they were going to be. You thought they were too young to repeat their performance from last year. So all credit to me. In all seriousness, no, the Braves have won 7 of their last 10 games. And they're really starting to get it going. Ronald Acuna has had himself a really great week. Their batting average is starting to get up. They're starting to score more and more runs. The thing you need to talk about with the Braves when the conversation comes to it, and part of the reason why you were down on them, Greg, is their starting pitching, which has been a little shaky. We've talked about this a couple times throughout the season so far, that their starters haven't been the best, but with their offense looking the way it has, especially recently, I mentioned Acuna, who's now at 11 homers, like Freddie Freeman. They're both over 30 RBI at the moment. Dansby Swanson, who we've been kind of waiting for a huge breakout year. He's at 29 ribbies and 7 homers. He's got 3 triples, 7 doubles, and this guy is really looking like he's putting it together. So just another young guy in that batting order where Freddie Freeman and Brian McCann and Nick Markakis can kind of lead the way as those veterans to help out with the team. And Tyler Flowers, the other catcher, a part of that tandem, is batting pretty well, batting .273. So that offense right now is really leading the way. And if that pitching staff starts to find what it had last year, this could be pretty dangerous for not only myself as a Phillies fan within the division, but also throughout the National League, because, we mentioned it a little bit with wild cards in the American League. The National League wild card race might be more exciting when it comes down to it, with how the Central is going to go, with how the East is going to go. And if teams in the West figure their shit out, it could be that way too.
Are they in a position to get Kluber or the free agent? Which one is it?
They could get Kluber. They could bring back Kimbrel too.
Yeah,
they could probably do either.
Like monetarily, are they in a position to do that?
I have a feeling they gotta have a lot of money. The Braves are a team that have been pretty successful for a while. Yeah. The only thing that might give me pause is that they just built a new stadium, so I don't know where they are with that. What portion did they pay for versus whatever county outside of Atlanta they built it in? Right. Because I know they moved it to a more affluent county. I think was part of why they moved from Turner Field. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question of where they are. But I would think they are, because I know a lot of those guys are still on rookie deals, or their entry level deals. I don't know what wordage they use for baseball. Yeah. I would think they are, though.
Great pick, Jordy. Yeah, great pick with the Braves there, and something too to note that they did it. They took 3 out of 4 versus the Brewers, and they swept 3 out of 4 of the Cardinals.
Yeah, which the Phillies had a lot of struggles with, which you talked about last week.
2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, 2 out of 3 from the Brewers, 3 out of 4 from the Diamondbacks. And that was after being swept by the Dodgers. So Good for them. Good week, Jordy. Great call. Cold team?
All the teams in, just a quick note before I give you my cold team, all the teams in that are supposed to be the top teams in the NL, they're all kind of just beating the shit out of each other. You know, the
Mm.
Phillies struggle against the Brewers, and the Braves take 2 out of 3. The Cubs really beat up on the Nationals, who also we think might be able to hang around, even though they're 11 games under 500. So it looks like they might be really struggling, even though Trey Turner just got back. The Phillies and the Cubs are battling right now. Like I mentioned, the Cubs are up. So it's kind of cool to see all of that all these teams are really, nobody's emerging as the darling of the National League. We all thought maybe the Brewers were going to do it, maybe the Cubs or the Dodgers. Dodgers right now have it by maybe, I think it's 3.5 games, but in terms of NL best record, but it doesn't look like they're far and away, going to be the number 1 seed, which I think it's good for baseball, and it's good for just exciting to watch whenever that you see them on the schedule. It's something you either got to watch or got to try to attend.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it a little bit last year. The parity in the National League, they really beat up on each other and led to them having lesser records than some of the American League teams at the top. So, with the exception of the Dodgers, obviously, but that's sort of similar things happening this year just because the teams are so close, I guess, in the National League. May not be the best teams, but they are close enough to each other. Obviously, the runs that are being put up in the American League would suggest that the offenses are much better in the American League, but that's a conversation for a different time. Jordy, cold team of the week.
Cold team, I'm going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks, who've lost 5 in a row, lost 7 in their last 10. A team who now sits at 500 at 25-25, and it was a team that you weren't quite sure what to think of coming into the season with no Paul Goldschmidt anymore, and a starting staff that still should be pretty good, even though they lost Patrick Corbin. They're kind of in the middle of the road statistically, so it suggests they should be better than where they are. Zach Greinke has a sub-3 ERA. Luke Weaver's right around there. Robbie Ray's right around 3. And offensively, they're still getting guys to hit for power. You got a couple guys. You have a couple guys right around 10 or 10 homers. A couple guys right around 30 ribbies. A couple above, a couple below. But they're just not really getting it done. They're not putting it together. And I don't know what the answer is for them, because it's something where you weren't expecting them to win the NL West. You thought they might be able to, like a couple years ago, backdoor their way into potentially being a wild card team. And they're certainly not out of it right now. We were just talking about how the parity's right there, especially with how the Central's doing, with teams beating up on each other. The Braves and Phillies start really beating up on each other. Who knows there? But I don't know. Their run differential's plus 23, which is, up there for National League teams. And I don't know what the answer is for the Diamondbacks, but you gotta point out where the 5-game losing streak is when you're floating around in your division there.
Yeah, same story, different year. It's not getting enough offense, and if your pitching is not going to match the clip that they were last year, then you're just not gonna win get ball games, and that's obviously it's a small sample size for this week, but a larger theme for the year, I think, for them. My cold team of the week is St. Louis Cardinals. This is a team that 2 weeks ago.
Good pick too, yeah.
Thank you. 2 weeks ago, we had this team as one of the hot teams of the week. Since then, they proceeded to lose 2 out of 3 to the Rangers,
really
2 out of 3 to the Braves, 3 out of 4 to the Pirates, 2 out of 3 to the Phillies, 3 out of 3 to the Cubs. So, fuck me. Catch the ball. Okay. Whew. There were the bases loaded there, and there's a deep, deep fly ball for the Blue Jays.
It's the Sox.
But ball was caught. All is good. We go to the 11th. Anyway,
there you go.
So so the Cardinals, they are currently
24-24.
Yeah, 2-8 in their last 10. They're leading division at one point, or right behind the Cubs. Like tied,
they were
maybe?
leading it for a bit ahead of the Brewers, and then the Cubs came out of nowhere. The Brewers,
and now
that's right after the Brewers started struggling.
Right now, the Cardinals have been jumped by the Pirates.
They've been
surpassed by the Pirates. So, I mean, surprising team for the Pirates. We can talk to he who shall not be named about his team. But
why do you speak so ill of our good hockey friend?
Different pod for a different day.
Yeah, all right.
because I think he's been every round rooted against the Bruins. So every round he's picked against the Bruins. But
no, he picked them in the first round. But he has picked against them in the last two.
Neither here nor there. But yeah, the Cardinals for me. I mean, they have to be, especially with the way the Cubs have been playing recently. And obviously the Brewers, the start they got off to, those Cardinals have to do better than what they're doing. So
yeah, and kind of put a cap on it. Their 5 starters of Jack Flaherty, Dakota Hudson, Adam Wainwright, Miles Mikolas, and Michael Wacha. They all have ERAs in the 4s. With Flaherty being the lowest at 4.19 and Wacha being the highest at 4.93. Yeah, you're not going to do very well with that. And you gotta kind of figure it out there. Andrew Miller, a guy that you bring in to be a shutdown player. He has a blown save on the year. He's an ERA of 4.86. Yeah, you gotta figure that out, and you gotta find a way to get more consistent pitching there. Because if you're not starting it off well, you're putting your offense where they're 12th in the league in runs scored and 5th in batting average in all of Major League Baseball. But you're putting them in a position where they got to dig themselves out, and that's not the greatest spot to be in.
Yeah, I hear you.
Winning right now, though. So
yeah,
we'll see what they do.
It's been a long start to the show. Can we just agree that the Baltimore Orioles, the cold team of the week, and let's move on to players?
Yeah, I forgot we didn't do an American League team. I'm fine with that. Yeah, let's go to players.
Yeah, Jordy. We do each league, correct?
Yep, each league.
Okay, sick league. So I'm gonna go with Joey Gallo from the Texas Rangers.
Ooh, all right.
Hot player of the week in the American League. Talking about a guy who had 1 stolen base, 5 RBIs, 3 home runs, 9 runs scored himself, with a 4.62 batting average. For the Texas Rangers, who we just talked about, are the second highest run producing team in all of baseball. Your hot team of the week. Yep. So only fitting that we pick someone from the hot team of the week. Jordy,
there you go. I was going to go with Rougned Odor because he has 4 homers, 11 ribbies. On the week of the 3-year anniversary of his legendary fight with Jose Bautista, really performing well there and showing Bautista who's boss. But I am going to go, Greg, and you're not going to like this pick, but I'm going to go with Gary Sanchez, the New York Yankees catcher, who having a bit of a bounce back year, a little.
I mean, if you're gonna go with any Yankee, I feel like you have to go with Gleyber Torres with 7 home runs this past week.
Yeah, that's a good point. 5 homers from him and 7 ribbies. Gary, though, 3 homers, 9 ribbies.
No. In the last 7 days. Last 7 days.
Last 7 days, I have 5 homers with 7 ribbies for Gleyber Torres. But splitting hairs here. Yahoo has that for me. If I reload the page, maybe it updates to 7. Let's see. Anyway, the Yankees are hitting a lot of home runs, Greg. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I still have 5 and 7. But anyway, I'm going to go with Gary, mainly just to talk about the narrative. Bounce back year for him. There was the problems with hustling and all that stuff. So you're seeing Gary having a good week. And I don't know. Gleyber would have been a great pick too.
So here's what it was.
Good catch there, Greg.
Here's what it was.
Yeah.
They played a doubleheader on May 15th.
Oh,
we go. Your Yahoo counted one of the games as the 14th.
Okay.
But he hit He hit 3 home runs in the doubleheader. The day they had the doubleheader, 2 in one game, 1 in the other. So he's had 7 in the last 7 days.
Yeah.
But
that's okay. That's
Sanchez, okay. Good for Sanchez. Admit you're wrong. I'll take it. Jordy, National League Hot Player of the Week. What do you got?
I'm going to go with Rendon. I mentioned a little bit with the Washington Nationals. Really kind of just bleeding in terms of wins and losses there, kind of letting it up. A team that people thought were going to have a big bounce back year after kind of a disappointing 2018. They thought that they were fine without Bryce Harper. Their record right now doesn't really show it, but they do have a lot of stars still on that team. And Rendon's a guy, as Trey Turner's been hurt, and a number of other guys have kind of come in and out of the lineup. This is a guy who's had a pretty good season. This past week encapsulates it pretty well, hitting 400, 3 homers, 8 ribbies, only 2 strikeouts to his name, 6 walks. So that's an on-base percentage of over 500, an OPS of 1436, and he scored 10 runs himself. So talk about putting the team on his back. Rendon, probably one of the better hitters in general in the National League, and especially in the last 7 days.
I like it. Good choice. I'm going with Ronald Acuna Jr.
Your boy.
From the Atlanta Braves. 7 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 3 home runs, 9 runs scored, 400 batting average. For me, hot team of the week. For you / I just pick guys from your hot team of the week for some reason.
Yeah.
But
you're picking me up. You're a good teammate. You're picking me up when I get on base. You're scoring it in.
Thank you.
Knocking me in.
I could have gone with Freddie Freeman. I was going back and forth between the two of them, but ultimately, I think the stolen bases and the fact that Acuna scored more runs would put him over the edge for me. Playing better, just all around baseball. Last 7 days. Jordy, what is the next topic?
Yeah, you want to do Phillies talk? You want to do Red Sox talk quick?
Sure. Pump into the Red Sox quick after having a great week in last Wednesday. This week, 2 out of 3, they lost to the Astros at home. Split right now with the Blue Jays and extras for that one. For the decisive Game 3, split with the Rockies. So 500 for now this week, but they had a bunch of days off in there. But Evaldi's coming back soon. Price will be back, I believe, Monday or sometime this weekend. So, and then JD Martinez has been out since this whole road trip since they left, or since they've been in Toronto. So, stood pat. 5-5, still 5 games out, which is what they were last week. Stood pat, still in a position to strike, and it's only a matter of time before they. Personally, I think only a matter of time before they jump up, hopefully, knock on wood, into second and first. And it's going to come with getting healthy. And their pitchers, Chris Sale finally looks like he's figured it out, as we talked about last week. Rick Porcello looks like he's figured it out. So we just need to get Price, Evaldi back, and then go from there.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Jordy, you tease me with Gabe the Babe. You tease me with something that he did. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, so it's not. It's what he did. It's a topic you and I have discussed a number of times because you've continually asked why don't the Phillies have Sir Anthony Dominguez as their closer, and the answer has always been the same of Gabe basically not believing in closers, wanting closers to. He doesn't want to put a label on it, and he uses different pitchers to close out games and uses them in different roles. So earlier this week, as I mentioned, they're in Chicago. They won Game 1 on Monday night, an extra innings. They use Adam Morgan in the bottom of the 10th inning after our guy, JT Realmuto, who, Greg, as a side note, JT and Bryce must have heard our conversation because they were basically battling to prove who was the better deal. They both had 2 homers, both had some go-ahead homers, some go-ahead RBIs. But anyway, JT had the go-ahead homer on Monday night, and Adam Morgan comes in to get 1 out, and then Gabe the Babe uses Juan Nicasio to get the final 2 outs. Phillies win 5-4. All's good and dandy. Last night, Tuesday night, they're up 2-1, and it looks like everything's going to be great. And Gabe brings Nicasio back in the 9th inning to close this thing out. Not only does Nicasio blow the save, but ends up letting up the game-winning hit from Javi Baez. Phillies lose 3-2. Now, my gripe with it is that if you're not labeling closers, why would you then use the same guy, a guy who's not a closer in Juan Nicasio, who's had troubles in later innings of 9th inning or later, to close this game out? And I don't know what it is. I think they need to name either Sir Anthony or when David Robertson comes back, David Robertson. Somebody is the ninth inning guy that you need to turn to. And that's my frustration right now. There's not really a lot else I can be upset with. The Phillies swept the Colorado Rockies this past weekend. And they're currently 1-1 in that series with the Cubs, probably going to be 1-2 in the favor of the Cubs as Javi Baez hit a home run. Actually, Andrew McCutchen just hit a home run as we speak. So it's 8-4 Cubbies right now.
Do you think that it's the mashups? That's why he's going with whatever.
That's part of it. That's part of where Monday night came from. Is Adam Morgan's lefty came in against the lefty, bringing Nicasio to throw the final 2 outs. But I don't know. I think you want to instill confidence. You want to show guys, hey, we want to use you in the 9th inning too. There was reasoning for doing that a couple times last year where they would use Nearest in the 9th inning because he was originally the quote unquote closer, and then Sir Anthony comes up. He was using the 9th inning a lot. Neshek's been using the 9th inning a lot. So I'm fine with going through it, but kind of pick if you're not going to label a closer, which I think you should, but if you're not going to pick like 3 guys that are going to be your closing guys that are going to be coming in the 8th and 9th inning to get the setup hold and then the save, rotate them in and out as you want. I know there's some guys don't. There's some guys that don't pitch back-to-back nights, and that's kind of stupid, but it's whatever. Baseball players are fucking crazy, as we've named a segment on our show. But there's got to be something where you figure out who are going to be your late inning guys, who are going to be your middle inning guys, who are going to be just the other guys that you roll out for a couple innings. It's one of the only things that I wish Gabe Kapler would change about how he manages, because I think he's doing a great job with it. We talked about it last week of him managing the personalities.
Honestly, maybe the Phillies go out and sign Craig Kimbrell.
Do you think they should sign Craig Kimbrell?
I said maybe they do. Maybe they need a closer. I mean, I guess unless they believe Robinson's the guy, then
he should be the guy. He's just been hurt since like the second week of April.
Yeah, I mean, why bring in Kimbrell if you don't need to pay him for 8 years when you have? That's the problem. Is Kimbrell and
Keuchel want all the money?
No, they want years.
Yeah.
I mean, money's irrelevant in baseball. It's about years. Like a Bryce, money's irrelevant. It's all about years. Jordy, do we want to talk, before we hop into Rookie of the Week and Pitcher of the Week, do we want to discuss the 76ers?
Oh, yeah, we said Pitcher of the Week.
The 76ers at all, or no?
Well, we had an opportunity to last week, and we talked about a little bit of my depression from them.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I don't want to rub salt.
It is what it is.
But
What you put salt in the wound? Give Jimmy Butler all the money he wants. I think I said that last week, but I'm doubling down on that.
Nice.
I think Emily just heard us talking about the Sixers. So if she runs in America, that's why.
You mean third and girl?
Yes, the third and girl.
The
third and girl. I forgot we didn't do Pitcher of the Week. Thank you for catching me on there, Greg.
I mean, that's what I'm here for, just to keep you honest. Honestly.
Yeah, that's why we keep bringing you back. But yeah, let's look at Pitcher of the Weeks. Let's start in the National League, Greg. Let's start in the National League. You want to go first? You want me to pick?
Sure, I can go first if you'd like.
All right, alrighty.
Mike Soroka from the Atlanta Braves. We talked about Atlanta not having great pitching this year. This kid went out 2 solid starts, 8 innings, 7 innings, 10 Ks, 0.6 ERA, 2 wins. Great week for this kid, Mike Soroka.
I like it. I like it a lot.
What do you got?
I'm going to go with, you mentioned the Pirates a little bit. I'm going to go with Jordan Lyles. This guy pitched just once this week, which, as many people know, I like to normally pick the guys who pitch a lot of innings, get a lot of strikeouts. But this guy, Jordan Lyles, 12 Ks in 1 start over 7 innings, only allowed 1 earned run, and it was off a homer. 5 hits, 1 walk. That's a whip of .86 and an ERA of 1.29, as I mentioned, the 1 earned run. The Pirates slowly but surely, just hanging around, kind of proving the computers right. We talk a lot about the Cubs versus the computer, which Joe Madden's basically telling the computers, but not his boss, not Theo, because Theo's helped out with everything and getting that World Series. But telling the computers, go suck one. But the Pirates, 2 games above 500 right now, despite having a negative 50 run differential. And it starts like that help out. And if I don't think just a couple good pitchers is going to get you really a lot closer to a wild card team. But think about if they had an offense. I'll just put it that way. 172 runs scored is the second to worst in the National League, ahead of the Miami Marlins. And it's well ahead of the Marlins, but still second to worst. So yeah, that's my guy, Jordan Lyles.
I like it. American League, I'm going to go, or yeah, you go first, because I went first for the other.
I'm going to go with Justin Verlander. Almost threw a no-hitter last night. Only let up two runs this week, both off homers. It's actually what broke up his no-hitter, if I'm thinking correctly. Only one more hit. That's 3 on the week and 3 walks, a whip of 0.4, and a opponent's batting average of 0.06. Absolutely absurd. And just showing, after a couple of years ago when we thought, those late years in Detroit that Verlander might be done, he and Kate Upton might ride off in the sun together. He's really just shoving it down everybody's throat, and he has since he got to Detroit a couple of years ago, and just continues to.
A great pick. It's similar to numbers that Chris Sale put up last week. So great pick there. Jordy, I'm going with Shane Bieber from the Cleveland Indians.
That's a good pick.
Thank you. Only 1 start, went all 9 innings, 1 win, 15 Ks, 0 earned runs in 9 innings. Complete game shutout. Hard to go against that. So good on him. Jordy, do you have a relief pitcher? You want me to go first? I have one lined up.
I do have one, actually.
Hey-o, let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Amir Garrett.
Okay, good.
Of the Cincinnati Reds.
Good. If you had said Chapman, I would have told you to hang up.
No, but this guy, Greg, 4 appearances, 3.1 innings pitched, and 9 strikeouts. That means of the 10 outs he got, 9 of them were Ks. No earned runs allowed, no runs at all. Only 1 hit and 1 walk. That is a whip of 0.6. So Reds, a team we don't talk about a ton, but this guy getting it done. 1 win and 2 holds on the week as well.
I love it. Great pick. I'm going with the San Diego Padres closer, I should say, Kirby Yates. First of all, nice. Kirby, thank you. Kirby's a great name. He had 4 appearances, got all 4 saves in those 4 appearances with 7 Ks, 0 earned, 0 whip, just 4 perfect innings. Great for him. And if we said it last week, say it again, if San Diego can start hitting the ball, putting some runs on the board, they could be a team to reckon with, and they could be an unreal team to have to face, especially 1-game playoff, but just the playoffs in general.
Yeah, it's. I was about to ask you, do you think he's a guy that if the Padres don't get it together, and right now they're like the Pirates, they're 2 games above 500, and their run differential is actually a lot better. They just a similar story to the Pirates. If their offense really just got it going, and who knows? But do you think? I was about to ask you if they don't get it going, is Kirby Yates going to be on the move? But do you think it's possible that they might potentially try to put something around Machado to try to get some offense, and Fernando Tatis? Tatis is hurt. I think that's a big part of some of their struggles of having just another guy.
I mean,
outside
it was the guy they got last year, right? It started with him. Was that Hosmer at first?
Yeah, Hosmer too. You're absolutely right.
So it started with him, and then they go out and get Machado, and maybe they are another positive big at bat away. So maybe if anything, they make a move for an at bat. I guess obviously it depends upon where they are come All-Star game. But I mean, I think that this team could sneak their way into the playoffs, and we're almost like Minnesota Twins it. And
Yeah, that's actually a fair take. The
Thank
Twins
you.
is a very good comparison. The only thing that gives you pause about that is how the NL East shakes out, especially with the Braves looking like they're starting to really put it together. Then the Central, if the Cardinals figure it out, if the Pirates keep this up, they do the same thing as the Padres. But Milwaukee and the Cubs. I mean, you're almost just penciling one of them in as the champ and the other as wild card one. So I don't know. They're ahead of teams right now in terms of hopscotch, but as things start to shake out and we enter the summer months, who knows how that's all going to go, because run differential that can be indicative of future performance.
Yeah, I love it. Jordy, do you have any stadium snacks?
Yeah, actually, so I went last Thursday, day game action.
Stop
It was
it.
a pretty good time. Oh yeah, gotta love it.
Actually, I was following the Thunderblog Instagram and saw the story and pictures. So if you want to give that a little plug, it's a pretty good. They were wearing their little old school blues, right?
Yeah, so they do that on Thursdays. They Thursday home games. They do hashtag TBT. They wear their light blue jerseys, and it's cool. They last Thursday was actually it was the 80s day. So I think it actually also happened to be the 30th anniversary of Top Gun. So as they're announcing the Philly starting lineup, they're playing Danger Zone and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty awesome. My buddy Joe and I went. He's actually moving away from Philly, so it was kind of our last hurrah going out to the Phillies game, one last baseball game together.
On Thursday we were blue, huh?
Do what?
That was a Mean Girls reference, because they say Wednesdays we were pink. So I said, oh, on Thursdays we were blue.
Thursdays we were blue. I like it.
So thank you. So when the Phillies start putting together a couple of years in a row of winning, you'll see these tchotchke days, these we need to do something to get fans type days. You'll see these go away.
Yeah, they don't give anything out those days, but they did have Game of Thrones night a week and a half ago. I think we talked about that a little bit, which Joe and I actually talked about at this game, where there were more fans in line waiting to take a picture on the Iron Throne, which, I won't spoil anything of the finale in case you haven't watched it.
Is
that's the General You. I know you've watched it, but
is that when Tyrion took a piss on it, or?
Oh yeah, it's when Darth Vader showed up.
Oh right.
Yeah, you're getting it. But there's more fans waiting in line for the fans waiting like in a 2-hour estimated length for the line for the Iron Throne. I think though, like Game of Thrones and Star Wars have now solidified themselves around baseball of having a night at each team, but there are some that are like
I'll tell you, when you're the Red Sox or you're a fan of the Red Sox, we don't have any of those kitschy nights. We have bobblehead night every now and again, but
for teams that aren't located at Fenway Park, when the Boston Red Sox come to your stadium, that's also a tchotchke night, because Red Sox Nation is everywhere, Greg. Not to pump your tires too much.
Well, that's my point, is that Philly's supposed to have these great fans and be such a good sports town, but yet I'm surprised. My point is, I'm surprised they have to do these crazy nights, or every Thursday we wear throwback.
I think it's more of just a nod of the team of the team of the past. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised. I don't think they had those jerseys of the 1980 team, but
I'm just surprised. Is all.
They've done that for I feel like they'd keep this going, especially because they want to merchandise everything. They want to keep giving out.
Anyway,
keep giving out everything.
Give me your stadium snack from your chat.
Jesus. We're just really trying to give each other a lot of shit. I ended up getting the Bulldog. I think I've talked about it before, from Pole's Barbecue. Jared would call it the kielbasa. But yeah, it's a kielbasa sausage on a nice hoagie roll, nice amoroso roll is the name of the company that sells it. Get a number of the good sauces that the Bull's Barbecue has.
Whiz or no whiz?
No, I did not get. You mean cheese whiz sauce, as ESPN calls it? No, I got the barbecue sauce, buddy. You got to throw the barbecue sauce on there. Bull's Barbecue with 3 different varieties: Carolina, Memphis, St. Louis, I think is another.
Ooh, which one did you go with?
I go with the Carolina, the mustard-based sauce.
Good. Jacques Hughes. You were with Carolina when the Bruins were playing the Hurricanes? How dare you?
Hey, I picked the Bruins. Don't
How
get
dare
after
you?
me.
You better not get the Blues one next time either.
No. Oh, Greg. Who picked the Bruins at the start of the playoffs?
Jacques Hughes.
Yeah.
I said the Bruins were going to win if Tampa Bay lost before, so I was half right.
Oh.
But
But it was
you.
Yeah.
I don't have a stadium snack, although the weather's beautiful out. I went over my stadium snacks last week.
I know you have a bleacher creature you want to tell me about, and I have two that I want to tell you.
All right,
but you go with yours first.
Let's sandwich my bleacher creature. So we'll say yours, do mine, say yours.
So say my first one, then yours, and then my other one.
Yeah, let's call it a sandwich.
I like it. A nice bleacher creature stadium snack.
A little behind the pod.
Anyway, so my first one is really quick. It's a picture that we couldn't figure out, Third and Girl and I, but we found this that cut for the MLB sort of fan account that gets thrown out of a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife bringing their fully grown golden retriever to a game. I don't know if it was a bark in the park type situation, but the dog is just sprawled out over both people in their seats. So this dog, not only, which if you buy a bark in the park ticket, you get a ticket for your dog as well. This dog decided not to sit in its own seat, sat on its owner's lap. So that's my first one. I'll tell you the second one after yours.
That's funny. I actually just thought of another one because I went to the PGA Tour or Championship at Bethpage Black on Friday. And
Did you really?
Yeah, we didn't talk
Why
about
didn't you
this.
tell me you were going?
I mean, I completely forgot. It was like a last second thing. I completely forgot
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh shit! You want to talk about that at the end?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
my first bleacher creature. I just want to show you.
Ooh, Greg, Red Sox took the lead.
I know Mookie Betts just absolutely tattooed a ball like 15 rows up in dead center. Absolutely tattooed it. Just like one of those swings that was just Mookie Betts pure.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm hard. So no, so I gotta can't make that comment and then talk about what I'm going to talk about for my bleacher creature because it involves children. But
oh no!
Give me a quick transition, Jordy, so I can.
Oh, you want me to tell you? Well, I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you mine.
So this just shows you how crazy Notre Dame fans are, and not to ruin the punchline, but a dad brings his little daughter to the game for the first time ever at Fenway, first time ever at a Sox game. Great moment. You'd think it'd be awesome. There, my roommate and I were enjoying a nice Dell's lemonade on a cold day with some hot dogs and peanuts. And the dad brings the daughter up, walks her out, and says, "This is our cathedral, our chapel, just like Notre Dame."
Said that Fenway was?
He said this is. He said this is this. The dad said this and Notre Dame football stadium is like church. This and Notre Dame is like chapel. This is like the Vatican, is what he said to his daughter, who couldn't have been more than 5-6 years old.
Okay. Were they very Irish?
No, not at all. I laugh for two reasons. Because one, Fenway Park is that type of special place. It is
for sure.
It is that type of atmosphere place. But I just thought it was crazy ridiculous to compare it to Notre Dame. And as a alum and a player who went to a different ACC school, even though Notre Dame tries to say they're not in the ACC, they are in the ACC. I went to a different ACC school. I just couldn't get over it how Notre Dame fans treat Notre Dame like it literally is the second coming. And I mean, good for that dad. Again, taking his daughter's first ever game, explain to her how magical what she's seeing is, how magical Fenway is. I fully understand, but don't then turn around and ruin it with, oh, this is just like Notre Dame, which is church. Like, get the
Well, I mean, maybe he's an ND alum. Who knows?
Oh, maybe you're right, but would you
Yeah.
go around and say that Lehigh's Division 1 AA football stadium is church?
No, I would not say that about Goodman Stadium. No, our 12:30 only games, and a lot of fans in the Lehigh Valley who think that college football should only be played at 12:30. Yeah, no, I would not say that about Goodman. No, that's a good one though. I don't know. I feel like Notre Dame's kind of like Alabama. There's more fans who actually didn't go there versus people who did. So who knows? I mean, you really could get a lot of different ways that situation was gone there. Was he actually from Boston? Yeah, was he actually a Red Sox fan, or was it some dude from like Kansas?
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
like,
no.
yeah,
Red
yeah, we
Sox
need to.
fan, no, they were decked out in Red Sox garb.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, because that
mean,
could have been
again,
something too, of just like he took his kid to Fenway because they were there and all
right.
that.
I love the moment of showing his daughter and explaining to her.
Oh
that
yeah, absolutely.
this place, this
We're
Fenway
not
Park.
here to hate on parents taking their kids to sporting events.
No, I'm just
Greg
saying.
is not anti-kid.
I'm just
not
saying
anti-kid.
this he should have 100% said Fenway Park is the Mecca, all that, and then stop at that.
I thought the Garden was the Mecca.
The TD Garden, yeah.
I thought MSG. That's the Mecca. Even though they're not getting Zion.
Nice. Oh, you never know.
No.
John Morant could have an unreal. No wait. Oh, they're third.
Vontae Mack, no matter what. No matter what. Wait. Anyway, you talking about a father-daughter moment.
One of the Knicks
kind of fits into mine. I have a father-son moment for my Bleacher Creature.
One of the Knicks fourth?
Yeah, they're fourth. They're not getting Zion.
Sorry, go ahead.
They might get RJ Barrett, other Duke guy. Mine's a father-son moment, though. So Steven Bronfman, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He is a real estate developer based in Montreal. And he has announced an agreement to develop a plot of land to potentially bring back in Montreal to potentially build a baseball stadium in hopes to bring a team back to Montreal. Now, Greg, you might be wondering, where does the father-son aspect of this? Stephen Bronfman's father is Charles Bronfman, the former owner of the Montreal Expos. So
the son
is currently building a stadium to try to bring back Montreal Expos baseball, or whatever the instance would be. I don't know if it's a Seattle Supersonics type of deal where they would get the Expos history back if they were to come back.
Yeah, well, I mean, exciting, I guess. The Expos. I mean, Vlad Guerrero was why anyone watched the Expos, and Pedro got his start there, obviously, and Pedro being Pedro was unreal. But with Vlad Guerrero Jr. playing in Toronto now,
who knows?
I don't like.
He
French,
has said that.
I don't like French Canada. I don't like French Canada.
Why? Because the les habitants, the Canadians.
I mean, they're. Nah, I don't want to say anything that's gonna get me in trouble.
I think there were some surveys that came out about French Canada, so we can direct you that way if you want to Google things about it to hammer Greg's home point.
So my other Bleacher Creature, Jordy, is from the PGA.
Yeah, how was that, man?
It was awesome. It was a great time, ton of fun.
Did you guys have a corporate tent, or were you just on the grounds?
Corporate tent, yep. But obviously you could walk around. So it was on the 17th hole, which is a par 3. Yeah, which is awesome. And then you look up and see the 18th. You can also see 16 and 15 from where we were.
So my guy Lucas Beauregard had his hole in one.
Yep, that was right in front of the tent.
So it was Sunday, right?
Yeah. I mean, like the hole was right in front of our tent. Anyway, the point was it was awesome. I've never been to a golf event ever before in my life. It was sweet, great way to do it.
Yeah.
The bleacher creature is this.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Tiger Mania full effect, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've never been a huge fan of the TW logo.
Okay.
I like Tiger. Big fan. Never been a huge fan of the TW in like a rectangular shape logo that they got going on.
Yeah.
Personally. Anyway. Tiger Mania, we're walking around in the morning session. This is before Tiger gets on the course. Tiger gets on in the afternoon. We're walking around in the morning. There's this guy. Okay, when I tell you not a single article of clothing on his body was not TW branded,
Jesus.
I mean not a single article of clothing on his body.
How old is this guy?
I mean, he had to be 30s or 40s. Had to be. Had to be. Thank you. Oi is right. Okay. Now, this is equivalent to wearing a baseball uniform to a baseball game, full hockey pads and shoulder pads to a hockey game. This is the equivalent of wearing Jared Barnes type uniform to a baseball game.
Jared doesn't even wear he wears baseball pants to our fucking beer league softball games. He does not wear them to baseball games. I can confirm, or to MLB games. I can confirm that.
You confirm that. So
he's maybe the only person I know that drinks Bud Light Orange, except I drink it with him. But he's the only person I know that drinks it outside of MLB games. But he does not wear baseball pants. So Jared's got a big leg up on this guy.
Yeah. So let's start at the bottom. Okay. Black Tiger Woods spikes. Black Tiger Wood golf spikes.
Oh my God, he even had the spikes.
Had the spikes.
Was he wearing pants or shorts?
Wearing pants. I can
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
In May?
Let me
on Long Island?
Please.
It's humid there.
Please, Jordy. We haven't even gotten past this. We haven't gotten past the shoes yet. Okay. And these are the shoes that have the TW on the back, right?
Holy shit.
So he sat down, so I was able to see his socks. Because you sit down, your pants right up, whatever. Literally black TW socks. I didn't even know they made Tiger Woods. TW's Tiger Woods. I didn't even know they made UW socks.
Are they what are they? Are these ankle socks? Are they mid calves?
Ankles. He is wearing.
Greg, how close are you looking at this guy's ankles? Let's ask that question.
I mean,
or is the logo that big?
When I fully describe, I mean, he was a stone's throw away. He was a stone's throw away from me. Or I could spit on him. That's how close he was. Anyway, he's got it fucking everywhere on these pants. Okay, top it off. He's got a fucking black belt, TW belt. Again, everything's TW. Black TW belt, silver buckle across the board, wrapped around his thing, right? Obviously. What color shirt?
Red.
Fucking red shirt, but with the new one with the gross fucking collar.
Oh, fuck that thing.
With no collar, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And and we've talked about before, not many people can pull off that type of shirt.
No.
And this was not one of those guys.
No.
Who can pull off.
Does not sound like it.
This was not one of those guys who can pull off this shirt. Tucked in, obviously. He had the shirt tucked in, obviously. Red, the little flag. He had the top button undone just like Tiger does, float over. Every time it would fly back over one side, he would open it back up so it would stay like the way Tiger has it. Okay. Move to the top. He's obviously got the black Tiger with the TW hat. He's fucking walking around, pulls out Bridgestone golf ball. 2 of them. And I was sitting next to the person I was with, and I was like, I was standing next to the person I was next to. I was like, is this guy expecting to be called to jump out and play? Like, is this guy
ready to he sees Tiger put one OBs? He's like, I got you, buddy.
Right? First of all, he's wearing spikes. Second of all, like, you look like a fucking clown. Like, what grown man? I mean, baffling. Just baffling to me.
I think the closest I got to that was when the U.S. Open was here in Marion in 2013. I had like a 2013 Marion U.S. Open shirt that I bought pre-tournament that I wore to the tournament. But I didn't wear spikes.
There's
I wore
absolutely
fucking
nothing wrong with
sneakers.
that, Jordy. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like we went out.
It was tucked in. I mean, like, you got to look nice when you go
No, I'm not disagreeing
to
with you. That's not
yeah.
the point. That's not the point, right? The point
No,
is
no, but
that
decked out in the Tiger stuff.
he
I mean,
was.
you look like
Fuck
all he's missing
you.
is the driver. Yeah,
Catch the
or a
ball. Catch the
putter.
ball. Fuck you. Red Sox just gave up a game-tying home run. God damn it.
Hey, the Phillies already lost. So
Didn't mean to cuss, but
join me in despair.
no, it's a tied. Now the game's tied.
Alrighty.
There was 2 outs. There was 2 outs, 2 strikes. I was ready to go to bed, and this fucking fat fuck from Toronto just plants one over the States. That's what. Anyway, Cora mismanaged.
You hate when the Red Sox are in Toronto.
Hate it. They never play well in Toronto.
Yeah.
Never play well in Toronto. They'll sweep the Blue Jays next time they're in Fenway, but they go to here and they just that ball was at the kid's ankles and he hit it and crushed it out of the
golfed
park.
It out. Was it Vlad Jr.?
No, it's this fat fuck, some white guy named Teletubby maybe.
Wasn't Justin Smoke?
No, I mean that's the problem. That's the problem. Is like Cora mismanaged this game, but anyway, it was Tellez, whatever.
Hey, Oscar Hernandez.
Nice. The point is equivalent to wearing a full hockey shoulder pads uniform to a hockey game, full baseball outfit to a baseball game.
So let me ask you this: are you a jersey guy? Like, obviously, don't wear like none of the other shit. Like, do you wear like a Bruins jersey when you go to the Garden, or a Red Sox jersey when you go to Fenway?
No, I do not. The only jersey that I have is a Patriot one, and I got that as a gift from one of my future brother-in-laws.
Nice.
So, and I never really wear that unless I'm with him, and he lives in Connecticut, so I'm never with him. I've never been a really jersey guy, partly because my body's not really shaped to look good in a jersey.
Hockey jersey, you look good in.
Yeah, but why am I wearing I mean, I was always like, every time I was brought to a hockey game, we were always told to dress nicely, right? We always had the nice attire. Like that's what real hockey fans do. Or sorry, that's not true. That's what classy hockey fans do.
I think I can. Stanley Cup Finals Game 1. Let's get an over. Let's see if Vegas has an over under of number of jerseys there, and I guarantee that's like at least a 4-digit number, if not 5-digit.
Jordy, I'm obviously fucking with you because I know you're a jersey guy, so I'm obviously fucking with you. 100%, I've been fucking with you this whole time.
I absolutely took that bait, hook, line, and sinker.
I know for a fact you're a jersey guy. You know I know you're a jersey guy. Obviously, we're in the wee hours of the night.
Yeah, I think that's a better side of anything, that it's the wee hours of the night.
And that's that's my
bravo. Bravo. Oh God.
But no, I mean, I don't see anything wrong.
I will say, though,
I don't see anything wrong with wearing jerseys. I really don't. I don't see anything wrong with wearing jerseys. And people are like, oh, why would you put another man's name on your back? Blah blah blah. Like,
I will say this.
That's part of it.
My Flyers jersey is a Jake Voracek jersey that I wear. I used to have one. I still do have 2 that my grandparents got me in back-to-back Christmases that have my name on the back. I don't wear those to games anymore. I used to when it was still like fun, like nice that I wore them to show my grandparents. I have a Jake Voracek jersey. I don't know if he's older than me. I don't know if I'd buy one. Like if Morgan Frost, the Flyers prospect, ends up being really good, or like another prospect or somebody in the future, I don't know if I'd buy one for myself, maybe down the line when I have kids, buy them that, but then I just start wearing like a Flyers like sweatshirt or a Flyers like pullover or something. Maybe graduate out of the jersey or buy like a classic like John LeClair or something like that.
Are you wearing a Phillies jersey? Are you wearing a 76ers jersey? Excuse me?
I don't have a Sixers jersey. That's the only one I don't have, and I don't think I'm ever going to buy one. I have a Phillies jersey that doesn't have a name on the back, and then I have a Darren Sproles Eagles jersey.
The Sproles jersey will last forever.
Yeah, the Sproles jersey. That's part of why I bought it. Is that he's that kind of player. I was really excited when the Eagles got him, and I'm glad he's stuck around for as long as he has. And
the Voracek jersey, that's a joke. I can't believe you have that.
Oh, I love Jake. I love Jake. It's a great guy.
Maybe.
I bought it before he was second in the league in points.
Nice.
I was on the Jake train early.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have no problem with people wearing jerseys. I've never been that type of person. Again, simply because
I totally agree with you though about the
way it
spikes at
looks.
golf events.
Well,
The only time it's acceptable if it's like you go when it's raining.
It's the whole uniform.
Because you don't want to fucking.
He had the long pants. He had the belt. He had the tucked-in shirt. He had the
why you'd wear long pants is beyond me.
He literally looked like he should have been playing.
Yeah, I have a Tiger Woods shirt that is red that I bought at the Waste Management earlier this year.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
When I was saying this though, when I wear it, I do not wear black shorts. I wear the opposite of a dark color of short. I have these maroon shorts that I wear with it that Emily's assured me that they match, so I don't look like an idiot. But I avoid anything that could be misconstrued as black to avoid the possibility of trying to be that guy that's dressing like Tiger Woods. Because there's one thing of like, oh, you're wearing like there's the kids who all dress like that dressed up like Ricky back in the day, and some still do. Or like if you're a big Jordan Spieth guy, so you're decked out in Under Armour stuff. Then there's Tiger. That's really overstepping the boundaries there.
Yeah, and for such a dominant player, it's almost like a Gretzky, right? It's almost like a Gretzky uniform or Gretzky jersey. Like you can't wear it because it's such a good and like the expectation and everything that goes with wearing something like that. Yeah. You have to be the best.
So when Tiger retires, do you say they should retire red polos from the PGA Tour?
No, but Patrick Reed can't go out there looking like a clown wearing the same exact thing that
I agree.
That he wore the day before, that Tiger wore this day before, like Patrick Reed did this past weekend when he wore the same.
He's done that for a while, which is kind of.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
Yeah,
Michael Davis, let's go. This kid, man.
Red Sox retaking the lead?
Yeah, absolute moonshot. This kid, he's a rookie. He's unreal.
There you go.
Not unreal. He just crushes home runs.
Last note before we wrap things up, just since we're on the golf, I'll ask you this: who was your favorite golfer that you did get to see Friday?
I personally love Ricky. Always have.
Yeah. Do you follow him for a couple holes?
Yes and no. He was playing with Bubba and someone else who's a huge name. So the crowd around them was really big, and they were like two groups in front of Tiger. So only a little bit, but
posting up though had to be pretty sweet on par 3. That's what me and Matty D did when we were at the Waste Management.
So we walked the whole course morning and afternoon. We walked and saw all the different people. We just when the feature groups we wanted to see were around our hole, we went back to it.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So let's see, in person. Honestly, I never realized, because you watch it on TV, you get to see all the shots, you never realize how tall and short these players are, because there's no reference normally. You see them in the middle of the fairway,
ball. Yeah,
right, or putting green. Like you never really know their height and everything that's going on. And there are some guys that were dialed in and not really waving anyone, and then there are guys who were entertaining with the crowd and going along with it. So, new favorite? No, I've been a Ricky guy, still kind of am. So, for me, keep with him.
I like it.
Thanks, Jordy. Jordy, real quick, we would not be a good baseball pod if we didn't talk about this. Do you see this Braves pitching prospect who he got drafted last year? There was a quote unquote injury concern, so instead of giving him the full signing bonus that a number 5 overall pick gets, they offered him, let's say he's supposed to get 5, they offered him $2 million instead of the 5. So he turned it down, went and played JUCO for a year, and instead of re-entering the draft this year, he has reportedly he's about to sign with a Japanese baseball team for an absurd amount of money to go pitch over there, and by the time he's ready to become a free agent, he'll be 25, potentially ready to sign a long-term, crazy amount of money Major League Baseball deal if he's as good as prospects say he's supposed to be.
I read this really quickly, and you gave a much better description of what the situation is than I could have. But that's kind of like with the basketball player thing of skipping college to go pro over there, because you can figure out a way that you can get your money, get yourself established well. And I don't know, do you think that's something going forward that baseball and to an extent other sports need to figure out of how to properly treat prospects and
this is the first time this is they say that this is like one of the first times this has ever happened.
Yeah, but this is also on the heels of Kyler Murray just deciding I'm not going to go play for the A's and go to the NFL. Like there's something about how the prospects are treated. I think that I think they're trying to get theirs.
Right. And I compare it to, I almost compare it to like Bryce Harper, right?
Mm-hmm.
At age 16 was doing
hitting the ball of the highway.
Well, he was doing the Arizona Baseball League, right? He didn't go to college. He was doing he was doing something so that he could play. He
was playing for a junior college team when he was 16. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So he was doing something where he didn't have to play. He could go right to the majors or whatever it may have been.
Well, you could be 18 and a major league team calls you up. He went right into the draft and just went right into the national system.
Got it. So my point is that, like, it's not unprecedented this happens, this is unprecedented. This is in terms of like this has never really happened before. A guy going to Japan to play over there, and like you said, you really only hear about it in basketball. You could argue hockey has it, but there's so many, like, you could play college
hockey. There's so much randomness around that.
Yeah. Also, people go to Europe after, like, at the end of their career.
Yeah.
In hockey, as opposed to, like, they'd rather grind it out here than over there. So you don't really hear about it that much with hockey. Football obviously doesn't have anything outside of college. So it's really only baseball and basketball where this has sort of happened or something's been set. And this kid, they're saying, really is setting a new precedent here. And like you said, maybe they do need to reevaluate how they look at their prospects, how they do that whole thing, because is 18 too young? Because you think about all the kids that have washed out of baseball.
Yeah.
On the other breath, there's 5 fucking divisions and leagues, so they need to.
It's more than that, actually. It's like it's a deep. The minor league system is very deep,
right? So they need to have people in it. Not to mention all, like, the Red Sox have an academy, in the Dominican they have an academy. You know what I mean? Like, not to mention all those things.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. It's something to certainly explore.
Thank you.
If you're both us as podcast guys, as well as obviously the teams and just be MLB as a whole. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Jordy, no problem.
One last thing.
You think it's a good move, smart move?
What, to go to Japan?
For this kid, yeah. They say
I don't know. I mean,
they say he's got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and an unreal curveball. I
mean, if he's going to get paid that much money in Japan and he wants to go get his, and then he comes over and has some sort of Yu Darvish, Daisuke, whomever, Shohei Ohtani, whomever, that's, name that guy that's done it from Japan, by all means go ahead. If you're just trying to, if you're trying to get just paid, do it. If you're a guy who you wanted to try to, you're that good and you wanted to come up with the Braves and, immediately start your career and trying to get your numbers up to, get to Hall of Fame or records, what have you. Mm-hmm. That also affects it too. They talk about Ichiro with, the 4,000 hits between Japan and MLB, but only 3,000 hits in Major League Baseball and all that sort of stuff. So there's that to consider as well of where that might happen, of how long does he want to stay over in Japan to the point where where he can come back and he can be a free agent. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it there.
No, and I think it's like a 7-year deal that he's allegedly supposed to have been signing. So that would put him back over here at 25 if he were good enough or so chooses. Anyway, you wanted to end on something else. What do you got for me?
No, I just want the last thing I wanted to mention before we wrap things up. I told you as right before we started, the White Sox are in the first triple play of the season against the Astros tonight. It was a 5-4-3 triple play. No unassisted triple plays, no liners that end up in a tag. Yeah, so very rare to see that 5-4-3. A lot of the times you see some sort of hit and run or somebody stealing and a liner hit. But good on them. And then they turn around and hit a grand slam on that. They big night for the Chicago White Sox. So I just wanted to mention that. I think we'd be kicking ourselves if we didn't mention it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Anything else though? Since we are a little bit over and we are really getting into the wee hours of the night.
Jordy, go Bees.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point. We are going to be right now. We're penciling in Sunday to record our Stanley Cup final preview. Game 1 is Monday night on Memorial Day. So look for that. It's probably the ultimate for you, Greg. NCAA lacrosse championships right into the Bruins.
I know it's my cousin's team, Cornell, did not make it, unfortunately, this year. Syracuse lost in the first round. So a little bit downer, but again, like you said, I can go right into the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1.
Yeah, a little bit of a bummer that Yale beat Penn. It would have been kind of cool to see Penn State at the link on Saturday.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Penn State is playing who?
Penn State's playing Yale. I just pulled it up.
Yeah. And then
a 19-18 game. Real high scoring in that one.
Versus Loyola.
Penn State though has scored 46 goals in 2 games.
So,
absolutely absurd.
And then what's the other one?
Duke, Virginia.
Duke, Virginia.
Yeah.
ACC represent.
Yeah, but those Penn State guys. I was talking to my stepdad, who's a big lacrosse guy, and asking like, how did Penn State really just come out of nowhere? And just the fact that they can offer in Pennsylvania guys, because the western side of the state is starting to really pick it up too. The Pittsburgh side, Philly's had lacrosse be fairly prominent for a bit. I just think Penn State hadn't really picked up lacrosse, which is why we're seeing them come up now. But they're able to get those Philly guys, they're able to get those Pittsburgh guys on in-state tuition, so for effectively scholarship costs. So they're able to get out-of-state guys with that scholarship money. So apparently that's why they're doing so well. I'm not the biggest lacrosse guy, so you might be able to pick that up for me. But yeah, we'll see how it all goes.
No, I think it's the big reason for Penn State is I mean, they're state schools, so tuition's cheaper, which is a good point that your stepdad made, but also how huge the school is. So the pool is bigger and all that. But
it's a huge. I mean, they also have the network too, where they have all the satellite campuses that you can move to.
And I mean,
Happy Valley as well.
To be fair, it's taken them some time to get here, right? This isn't.
Yes.
They've been a Division I team now for 4 years, 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. So it's taken them some time to get here. But yeah, they certainly are. Certainly are going. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, but for Syracuse's sake, but for their sake, yeah. Hopefully, it's a sustained thing. Hopefully, they don't lose a coach.
Yeah.
Let's go. Red Sox just won in extras. Let's go.
There you go. There you go, bud. But yeah, Greg, I think that's going to do it for us. It's going to be fun. Record the pod this weekend with you and Jared. We'll see what we need to get his write up. I'm really bummed we didn't get his write up of why I picked Carolina in 5. So maybe we can grill him there. But yeah, we'll see what he ends up picking there, because he also went against the Blues, which he seemed to be a big Blues guy through the first couple rounds. But we'll see how all that goes. But thank you, Greg. I appreciate you taking the time. I know we had to keep it on the fly today of when we were going to record, so I appreciate you being flexible and able to do it tonight.
Jordy, I appreciate you being so what do they call that? Patient with me. Thank you.
Yeah, guys got to eat.
Hey, Jordy,
GP,
go Bees, go Sox.
go Phils. That'll do it for us, though. Make sure to follow on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podcoin, Thunder BLG on Twitter, all that good stuff. And for my man, Greg the Prophet Pete Telly, I am the G-Man. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will talk to you on Sunday.